is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CUO4 YouTube channel, where Carlisle United come away from the Mazuma Mobile Stadium with a point. Morecambe 2, Carlisle United 2, the final score here in the Bay. In what was, to be fair, a decent game to watch. It was definitely a decent last 5 minutes or so. A game where I thought a draw was a fair result. I thought Carlisle had a lot better of the chances, especially towards the end of the game, of course. I think they had 4 chances to win it at the end. But, you know, Morecambe fighting for their lives. Carlisle fighting for that third place position, which we now sit 5 points clear of Bowden Wood, which is fantastic because, you know, we want to nail down that third place position. So 2 teams that still had a lot on the line. Morecambe a bit more so, really. But Morecambe, to be fair, looked a threat when they could. They left themselves quite open at times. Carlisle exploited that on the break, especially in the second half. Morecambe were piling bodies forward, and Carlisle were able to get onto the counter-attack with that. But Carlisle didn't take advantage of them counter-attacks. That's the main point, really, isn't it? You know, if you're not going to take advantage of them, then they don't come to anything. So I thought the first half for Carlisle, I thought we looked a bit more... you know, it looked like we started Georgie Kelly. It looked like we just didn't know what to do with Georgie Kelly up front, and we were just crossing at every given opportunity, where there was opportunities to maybe go a bit more direct at times, like we've done in previous weeks. But the second half, I thought we really gave it to Morecambe. I thought we won the front foot for I would say about 40 of the 45 minutes of that second half. You know, it was chance after chance after Carlisle scored. It was a dominating second half from Carlisle, to be fair. And then unfortunately, just as we've said so many times on the channel, and so many times Carlisle fans understand, one mistake at the back for Carlisle, you know, well, it wasn't really a mistake, it was an own goal, it was a mix-up at the back. But that has gave, you know, Morecambe their equaliser and give them a point at the end of the day, and Carlisle didn't take their chances when they were given to them. But moving into the game, then first 5 minutes, both teams were having a good feeling our process of each other, seeing what was what, weighing each other up. Morecambe had a half chance in that first 5 minutes, so but then there was a great cross from David Adjiboye, who was fantastic today. Great cross to him, and Georgie Kelly just gets away from him, can't really get the full contact that he would have wanted, unfortunately. But then there was a brilliant ball from Jack Ellis, again playing David Adjiboye down, and it is a ball into the box, which is then it comes to the edge of the box, and then it's fired over by Harvey McAdam, who blasts it over the roof of the stadium, not troubling the goalkeeper at all with that one. But it was that's where the danger was coming from, that right hand side from Carlisle. And again, the danger was shown by the right hand side. Nice 1-2 between McAdam and Jack Ellis. It's a low cross, unfortunately straight to the goalkeeper. But that's where the space was in the first half, down the wing. And what I enjoyed was it wasn't just David Adjiboye on that wing. You know, Jack Ellis wasn't scared to get forward. Archie Davies, when he came on, wasn't scared to get forward. Linney would come over to the right. Adjiboye would go over to the left. You know, just giving the defenders something to think about, a different man to mark each time and things like that. And then Alex Gilliard, it looked a bit of a nasty one. It wasn't a bad tackle or anything like that. You could just see in the way that he landed, he immediately went to grab his knee, and you know, he stayed down for quite a while. Ended up staying on the pitch, but then he went down again later on in the game and stayed down, which doesn't look great because, you know, I think Alex Gilliard has been one of the most important players for us this season, controlling that midfield area. So that will be a miss, and he did go off, which meant Jack Ellis came into the midfield and Archie Davies came on the right back. Good to see Archie Davies back in and around the team. You know, I think he's a decent player, to be fair. I know some people don't agree with that, but, you know, I think he's quite decent. More of an attacking fullback, but he's in a decent fullback. And then a long forward's not dealt with. Their man, number 5, came and took every single forward from Morecambe. It was a long forward that came in, forced the lad on the edge of the box, completely unmarked, Edwards, and a great finish into the corner of the net to make it 1-0 to Morecambe. A very disappointing. After a couple of waves of Carlisle attacks, disappointing to go 1-0 behind. And then straight away after the goal, there's a long ball forward, and Terrell Thomas is beaten way too easily. Manages to sort of do enough, then there seems to be a miscommunication with Breeze, doesn't come out and get it, and then Breeze eventually comes and collects. But a poor mix-up, and, you know, something that we'll see later on in the game as well. Regalini does a little bit too much, cuts in from the left-hand side, takes on one too many men, gets a shot, but it's way over. And then a fantastic fantastic counter-attack from Morecambe. The ball comes into the box from the counter-attack. What a touch and what a turn, but the shot is fired wide from the Morecambe striker, but a brilliant bit of play from them. And then there's another cross for Carlisle in the first half. It was just cross in that first half, and George Kelly fired over. We responded very well in the second half, though, coming out sort of straight away, made it 1-1. Regan on the edge of the box, as he does, fires Carlisle United back into the game. Great finish from Regan Linney, as you come to expect from that area. And then for me, that was sort of the first time we were just very direct. Like, you know, it wasn't a cross into the box, it wasn't cross, it was just shoot, and it went in the back of the net. And from there, it was a barrage of Carlisle United attacks after that goal. Brilliant run from Ryan Garvin to get in behind in the left-back position. Unfortunately, the cross couldn't say the same. The cross was very poor from Ryan Garvin. And there was there was just a good 20-minute spell of football from both teams. Both teams playing some decent possession football. No real chances or anything like that, but some good play from both sides. And then it's a long ball from Gabe Breeze. David Adjiboy beats his man for pace and then stands his man up on the edge of the box, takes it past one, takes it past another. Here comes the keeper, round the goalkeeper, and slots it into the back of the net to make it 2-1. A fantastic finish from David Adjiboy, I've got to say. Really, really good instinct to take on the first man, the second man, and then put it past the goalkeeper to make it 2-1 to Carlisle. A brilliant goal from him to sum up a man-of-the-match performance, in my opinion. Then there was a deflected shot from Morecambe, good save from Gabe Breeze. And then there is a crossing from Archie Davies, which Charlie White headers just over. And then all of a sudden, it seemed a bit of a mix-up. I'll have to watch it back to get the full story of it, of course. But the ball's into the box. It looks like Harvey McAdams went to clear it, and he's headed it backwards, which has beat Gabe Breeze into an own goal. For me, Gabe Breeze should just be coming out and clearing up all of that. You know, if he's catching it, if he's punching it, just command that area of the box. And maybe being harsh on Breeze, as I say, I haven't watched it back, but it will go down as a Harvey McAdam own goal to make it 2-2, which is a shame because Morecambe didn't really have a lot in the second half. That was one of their only real chances, to be fair. Aziz had a few efforts that were wide, but 2-2. And then from that moment, it was just Carlisle attack after Carlisle attack. It was Carlisle counter-attack after Carlisle counter-attack. First one was Stephen Wern and Regan Linney. They just didn't seem to have that energy that you needed. Just a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of... the word's not coming to me, I'm going to be honest. A bit of urgency, that's what I was looking for. A bit of urgency to go and get that third goal, but it wasn't there. Then there was a couple of miscommunications again at the back. You know, you just wanted the switch on at the back so you didn't concede. Then there was a 3/4-on-2. Charlie White, Regan Linney and Adjiboy running forward, Stephen Wern just behind them. And it's a brilliant move, to be fair. Regan Linney with a fantastic ball to Adjiboy. Adjiboy with an even better pass to put it on a plate for not Regan Linney, for Stephen Wern. Stephen Wern gets the shot off right at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper parries it wide. And, you know, it's a great save from the keeper, don't get me wrong. But Stephen Wern should be doing a lot better. You know, just smash it into the back of the net. Put it anywhere apart from where he did, really. But a great save from the keeper to keep them into the game. But God knows how he hadn't scored. Corner comes in, cleared back in from the corner. Falls again to Stephen Wern. Another opportunity, but he drags it wide. And you could see in his face that he knew that was two golden opportunities just before being substituted. Wern came up for Whelan. Then there's a fantastic counter-attack from Carlisle United. Another one, to be fair, it's let down by the finish. Charlie White, this time, he hits over. He had to take one of them chances. And just when you think all the chances were done, there was one more for Carlisle United. The attack comes in. It's a brilliant ball out to Archie Davies. You're thinking Archie Davies is just going to cross it into the box. And Archie Davies hits an absolute thunderous strike. Brilliant save from the goalkeeper to knock it onto the crossbar and out for a Carlisle United corner. Unbelievable effort from Archie Davies. I honestly thought he was just going to one-touch it into the box with a cross, and he's absolutely hammered it at the goalkeeper. Brilliant save from the keeper, to be fair. Corner comes in, comes out to Harvey McAdam, takes the shot, deflected wide. one last corner, came to nothing, unfortunately, and the game finished 2-2, which I thought was a fair result. I thought Carlisle, did enough to win the game, but, we didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And I thought Morecambe in the first half were good for the point, but, you might disagree with me. So if you do, of course, let me know in the comments down below. But thank you for watching this video. I've been CUF4, and I'll see you in the next one.